Hello Avengers, on today's video I'm making you a brand new guide where I will teach you the locations on what missions you can find specific enemy types. This will be very handy for you for specific challenges like on the challenge card, events, and other different type of mission chains. Not only regular missions as well, but also the harm room. So let's begin. Here's the table I designed to find the enemy types to give you a visual idea if you wanna have a visual safe for you to look at. So let's go in order. First we have Red Rocket's Glare, which is Captain America's first iconic mission. The reason I start with this one is because one of the very first ever challenges in the game is that in the story, to create the Start Deck outfits, you need to find Prime Synthoids and get the resource that they drop. And Red Rocket's Glare is a perfect mission just for that. Right at the very start of this mission, if you head to the right where there's like 2 bonus chests here, you will find 4 Prime Synthoids. This is the best one for this specific mission because if you're starting out on the campaign, you don't have many missions available for you, but this one will be available when you get that mission. However, this mission is also great if you're looking for 1 exo because the very first objective of this mission is taking down a shielded exo. So if you want to farm just the 1 exo, this is a good mission to do so. Additionally, if you're looking for riot bots and cryo keepers, the second objective of this mission also provides a fair amount of them, as well as some proto synthoids. Next up, we have on the Future Wastelands the mission You in Funeral. In this mission, on the very first objective, you can find exos, prime synthoids, keepers, and adept keepers. This first objective of the mission is really great because it's one of those missions where when you destroy one of the 4 targets, more enemies will spawn, and every time you destroy one of these targets, you get a brand new spawn of enemies, and this includes 1 new exo for you. So you can get about 3 or 4 exos on this very first objective of You in Funeral. And again, this is also great for farming synthoids, prime synthoids, keepers, and adept keepers. Next up, in the northern expanse, we have Up from the Depths. This is the second iconic Black Widow mission. You probably already heard of this one. This one begins with the very first objective being taking down an Adaptoid. So if you want an Adaptoid right away, this is the mission that you want. But additionally from this Adaptoid, as you progress the mission, you will also find Adept Synthoids and Adept Keepers, and also more Adaptoids. Also, this is the one mission that you can more consistently find the cargo synthoid. It's not guaranteed that you'll get this cargo runner, but it's usually the place where it tends to spawn the most. Next up, we have in Pacific Northwest, the first Hulk iconic mission, Condition Green. As soon as you start this mission, you will find a couple of drones flying around. So as you get to the first objective, you can start hitting on these drones and more drones will spawn. So if you're just farming for drones, this is a good mission for that. But the main reason I recommend this mission is because you get a Dreadbot right at the start. So if you're working right now with team takedowns for the Attacking Anomaly event, you can come in here with your friends and repeat this Dreadbot at the beginning of this mission. Additionally, if you happen to need Gamma type of enemies like Gamma Keepers, this is also a good mission to progress. Next up, in the Scandinavian Highlands, we have Agents of Thunder, the second iconic mission for Thor. This is a really great mission for anything cryo. Cryo synthoids spawn a whole lot on this mission. On the first objective, the second objective, you can also find cryo keepers and prime cryo synthoids. So anything cryo, this is the absolute place to get it. There's also a few riot bots here and there and even a cryo adaptoid at the end, but I mainly just recommend it for the cryo synthoids because. Lastly is on the Eastern Seaboard, and we're back. This one I already recommended on one of my event guides, but I'm reminding you again and I wanted to include it on the table. This is the perfect place to hunt down drones. On the very first objective, you have a lot of drones, you have a lot of synthoids, you have a lot of proto synthoids, and the third final objective also has a lot of synthoids. It also have watchdogs if you happen to need those, but mainly if you need easy synthoids, this is the one just for you. I I mainly recommend you do those missions instead of the harm room because sometimes the enemy needs to die and drop something for you to recover. On the harm room, you cannot recover drops. Enemies don't drop anything. If your challenge has nothing to do with drops and you just need to kill that type of enemy, then the harm room is a good option as well. So these are the first starting enemies for each challenge of the harm room. This is not all the enemies that are included on each of the harm room challenges. I'm simply including the ones that pop in on the very first to 5 waves of this challenge. So starting out on challenge 1, if you really just want to grind easy enemies like the Proto Synthoids, Synthoids, and drones, then challenge 1 is definitely the one that you want to go for. Now, if you need something more specific regarding Synthoids, for example, Elite Synthoid, Cryo Synthoid, or one that's a bit more rare, like the Spin Synthoid, then challenge 2 is a great one as well, and it includes a couple of Dreadbots as well. Now, in regards to keepers, challenge 3 is the one that you need. Right away, the challenge starts with a lot of elite keepers. You also have your adept keepers, your regular keepers. It's basically focused on the different keepers that you can find in the game. Meanwhile, on challenge 4, if you're looking for the different classes of Dreadbots, like the Stiletto, then challenge 4 is for you. This one also has the Adaptoids for the first time, but in terms of Adaptoids, I recommend instead the next challenge, challenge 5. Challenge 5 on the very first wave has 1 Dreadbot and about 2 or 3 Adaptoids right away. So if you need those 2 particular enemies, but you don't need a specific drop from them, then this is a great challenge to do so. You will also find a pretty good amount of Prime Synthoids on this one. So that's it when it comes to the harm room. It's another alternative for you if you just need to defeat that enemy without anything to claim from them. Lastly, we have the locations of bosses outside of the daily villain sectors. Sometimes you want to repeat a villain, or you need it for the Future Wastelands Mission Chain to get the Hank Pym Artifact, but that boss is not available yet as a daily villain sector, then this is the alternative missions you can find them. First off, we have Taskmaster on the Pacific Northwest, the mission called Bad Blood. This is a shield faction mission, but it can also appear as a flashback mission. Second, we have Abomination. You can find him in the Future Wastelands in the second iconic Hulk mission, Heart of the Monster. Next up, we have the Warship, which you can find in the Eastern Seaboard in the mission Mayhem over Manhattan. Now, this one is a flashback villain sector, so sometimes it's up, sometimes it's not. So you have to wait for the war table to refresh and see if it comes up. Meanwhile, the Warbot can be found in the Future Wastelands in the mission Agony at the Ant Hill, which is also a flashback villain sector, which might not always be up, so instead you can go to Family Reunion, either on the story version of Kate's Operation or on the Omega level threat version. And last, we have Maestro Hulk, which you can find in the Future Wastelands in the story mission called Future Imperfect on Hawkeye's Operation War Table. I did not include Super Adaptoid and Monica here as they're not part of the daily rotation, but you can find the Super Adaptoid in Family Reunion in both story version and Omega level threat version, and Monica in Beating the Odds in the Snowy Tundra. And that's it for this guide on finding the different enemy types that you may need for missions. Hope this guide is very helpful for you, and feel free to use all these graphic tables I designed for this guide. Go ahead and complete those challenge cards, complete those Dreadbot takedowns, all of those challenges. See you next time, Avengers!